Today is March 10th. This Sunday will be the fourth Sunday of Lent, and we will be about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks away from Palm Sunday. And I hope that you are having a blessed Lent, a time of self-reflection, and using one of the devotionals that we've included weekly in the email newsletter. There are a couple of options there. Plus, we have hard copies printed out at the church. We have a few of those left. Or you may be using some other devotional, either Our Daily Bread or something that you have found online, something that is part of your personal devotional time. I hope that this is a blessed time of drawing nearer to the Lord and preparing for those intense services we will be having during Holy Week. Even though we are still not able to gather in Mass in person, and we still have to social distance, we are, however, able to worship together in spirit and virtually online, remembering each other and praying with and for one another. And it's just been a very interesting time to be Christian and to be the Church of Christ. And along those lines, I wanted to mention this week a book that was written well over a decade ago. It's called The Great Emergence by Phyllis Tickle. And Presbytery leaders did a study of that at that time. And it's a very interesting book, and I think one that helps us in thinking about how the church and how Christianity changes over the centuries. Within that book, Phyllis Tickle talks about this dynamic of change within Christianity every 500 years. And how that change is not something that happens overnight or even over a matter of years, but many years. There is this transition. And she mentions in a video, which I'm going to put the link to in this newsletter, email newsletter. So look for it. She said that a Jewish colleague said to her that it's not just a Christian thing, because if you look at the Jewish faith, 500 years before we have the Christian church, the early church, there is an upheaval and a change within the Jewish faith, and something emerges out of that that is different. And 500 years before that, you have another emergence that comes out of a transition period. And for them, it was captivity in another, being taken away into captivity, and a destruction of the Jewish temple, one of the destructions of the Jewish temple. So the fact that we find ourselves within this turbulent time of change, we are within this framework of a pattern that seems to occur every 500 years. And Phyllis Tickle also makes the comment about an Episcopal bishop who says that every 500 years, the church has a rummage sale. Christianity has a rummage sale, which is an interesting way of putting things. What things do we need to let go of? What things do we keep that are of value? We hold on to these things. And I think that speaks to our feelings of being in this COVID period. So I wanted to commend this book to you. It's called The Great Emergence, and it's by Phyllis Tickle. And as I say, I will put a link to a YouTube video. It's a brief video by Phyllis. It's not very long. I'd say it's less than 5 minutes long, but she gives you an introduction to what that book is about. And I highly recommend it. And I know of younger colleagues, ministers in the Presbyterian Church that are part of a a movement. It's not really a program. It's not anything formal, but it's a movement of leaders. And I think it's across denominations as well, who are taking a look at the emerging church, the emergent church, not emerging, but emergent church, because it's across denominations. It's within different faith traditions, but something is going on, something is happening, and leaders have come together to continue to pray and worship and to discern ways of being church in this time. And it's quite exciting. And I haven't been able to participate in their activities or their Facebook activities because I'm so immersed in what was, and that's good and that's bad. I'm immersed in what was. I'm a stabilizing force. I'm one that knows the where the church has been and can speak to that. But I am so open to what the Spirit is about, and I realize that we are not to be stagnant. But we also don't just go with every whim of change, but we are to prayerfully and faithfully discern where the Spirit may be leading. Is this a post-denominational time? I don't know. Is this a time where we will be church beyond our buildings, or do we hold on to buildings and use them for many, many other things? I don't know. Will we become less liturgical and more informal? I don't know. In our worship, I don't know. But that is for the people of God to discern together. And because I'm interim, I cannot be with any one community for very long in that journey, because my role is to be stable, but to till the ground and the soil, to open up a spirit of expectation for the new minister. And I hope that I have done that for you. I hope that I have been that resource that is steady and consistent and faithful to who we are as the Presbyterian Church USA, but also bringing a sense of expectation and trusting God for the unknown future, which will have more definition and more clarity with a new leader. You do have some foundational seeds of what is GPC. That is your faith in Jesus Christ, and also because you are faithful to Jesus Christ, you want to share that love in ministry to the world. It's not an ingrown thing, it's an outgoing service to the world, but you also have to tend to the believers within the church family, and that's in and out ministry, really. So I wanted to just highlight that book, The Great Emergence by Phyllis Tickle, talk about my role here a little, just mention that a little, remind you about who I am as an interim. And we continue to pray for the PNC. And I would ask for your prayers as well, because once the PNC is finished with their job, God, I hope I'm aware and I'm in tune with where God wants me to be next. So I just want to leave those comments with you today. And I look forward to joining you in worship this Sunday, whether in person or we are together virtually.